Right, let's start off with the tracks now. I've already went ahead and copied in or imported a track link from an existing Panzer 4 illustration of mine. And what you do essentially is you just copy paste this track link about 150 times and you go around the whole thing and you're done. Just keep in mind obviously that in certain areas you'll have to turn the track so that it fits. And yeah, and for the sprocket here, you have to align them with the sprocket teeth and whatnot. Also, in my case here, I have the tracks in front of all the wheels, so ideally we want to have them behind, but also, of course, it depends what kind of tank you have, just like that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do this behind the camera. I won't film it. And after that, I will show you what to do in terms of shading, because there's some pretty important shading stuff we have to do. See you soon. Alright, so I'm now finished with the tracks. Here's how they looks like. The next step now is this bit here. What I did is that I moved the sprocket, this layer, to be behind the tracks, but the tracks are behind the wheels and the idlers, as you can see. So just rearranging the layers here, or the folders with the layers. But what we have to do, we need to get rid of these teeth here. And what we can do is I've merged all the track layers because I don't want to have 200 layers like that. And what I'm going to do is just erase these teeth here. You can go ahead later and make sure that it's a bit better job, but we'll do this for now. So I'll do this quickly, like that. That's good enough for now. I said we're going to do a bit of shading. So first bit of shading we're going to do to make these tracks look good is actually copy the tracks. Here we go. Put this new layer behind the original one. Put it maybe about over there. Actually, let's put it behind the sprocket as well. There we go. I think if that's the original position, if you put it slightly below and to the right, something like that. And then we go here in image, make sure you have the layer selected. Adjustment, hue and saturation, and then put the lightness to -100. Now we've got black tracks. And then we take the blur tool, make sure the strength is on 100%, big size, and we just blur this section here. And what this does is give this nice 3D shading effect. And with everything else, we can just come with the eraser and erase the rest of the track. Right, the next step is to do a bit of shading. The tracks are wide and they cast a bit of shade on the wheels and whatnot. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to group all the wheels in a single new folder. There we go, wheel. And then make a new layer above, attach it there. And then with a soft, let's say 50%. So with a big, soft brush, we can go ahead and do a little bit of shading at the bottom here. Just a touch. And then essentially the exact same thing to all of the other components. So same thing with the sprocket. We go around like that. Now notice that the teeth are getting shaded as well. We don't want that, so we can come with the eraser and do this to the teeth. Teeth shouldn't be that dark. Something like that. Same thing with the return rollers. You can group them as well. There's only 2 though. Yes, I did go ahead and do the return rollers. But you know, they're not that hard. If you can do the wheels, you can do those as well. And same principle, we add a bit of shading on top of them there to show that they're kind of behind the tracks. And lastly, the idler, which we just go softly around it, like that. So, that's the tracks done. Right, one more thing with the tracks before we're done actually is this section, which is currently light, the teeth of the tracks. Um, on the upper section of the track, they are technically below the main flat piece of the track, so they would actually be a lot darker. So to simulate that, we can again make a new layer, attach it to it. Then we can select only this lower portion of the track. We'll do it like this for simplicity's sake. And I'll go ahead and do this along this entire upper section. Right, so I've now selected the interior of the track. And now with, again, a large, soft, dark brush, we can color make it, that's a bit too strong perhaps. Let's put on 22%. That's better. And we just color this in here to show that it's behind and it's slightly darker. Doing the same here behind on the sections behind the road wheels for the same reason, like that. Then perhaps with slightly smaller brush, also do it up here behind the there. So now we're done with the tracks.